Okay, I wanted to see if I can start it live on YouTube, so I can also have a link there for students and parents. This is for the senior capstone for Phelps seniors. Um, as you know, some things may need to be modified because of our current situation. Okay, so I had to put it on. Cool. All right. So yes, I know I look a little rough. Definitely doing the stay in place order, and I guess I can say I'm getting a little bit of rest, but not a lot. But anyway, let's go straight into it. Um, so seniors, you have a capstone that is due here very soon. Um, to be frank, only very few of you have shared your information with me. Um, excuse me, have shared your information with me on Google Docs. Uh, the email that you need to share your information with me on Google Docs again is Phelps Senior 2020 at gmail.com. That's Phelps Senior 2020 at gmail.com. Okay, because I'm looking at it now and I still only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students. And out of those 7 students, of course, I know some of them are group, but I only have 7 projects that I'm able to look at. And out of those 7, some of them still need a lot of work. With that said, all right, let's go ahead and go over what is actually needed for closing out your portfolio and for possibly creating some type of prototype while you are at home. Okay. I'm going to say this again at the end. The email address I already gave you, but I'm also going to tell you that on May the 22nd, which is 3 weeks from now, you will present. That's on a Friday. We will start presenting, probably more so in the noonday. We're going to look at starting at 1 and going until probably 2 or 3. We will be on Teams, presenting on Teams. I'm looking at having teachers come in. I'm going to see if I have anybody else come in. I will probably have to use Zoom if I have anybody from the outside come in and do any evaluating. But I know how the district feels about using Zoom. Yeah, it's a little bit better using Zoom. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going over this again. I'm creating this video so that you can come back to it. And if you have any questions, of course, you can refer back to this video. You can go to Innovation Portal, or of course, you can ask me questions. All right. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Now, we've seen all of this before. There's nothing really new here, but we are going to go ahead and talk about it anyway. All right, so here we are. This is the cover page. This is not going to be graded. However, the cover page, again, I've shared this with you all on your innovation portal. The cover page needs to resemble what your project is about. You can place your the year and all that good stuff here. You can also place the members of your team. If it's just you, you can have just your name, okay? As you can see, this was the team when we actually did it about 2 summers ago. Okay. All right. So with that said, let's go to tab A. I'm going to move through this pretty swiftly, but not too fast. This is a lot of information. All right. Now, we've already talked about tab A multiple times. Tab A should actually be finished, and you should be refining tab A. What is on tab A? Okay. You have the synopsis, you have the problem statement. You also have, because you don't see it here, it's going to be a little different. You have your synopsis, your problem statement, your justification, your HR information. Remember, with the HR information, do not put people's names. All right. You're only putting the positions that you are forecasting that you may need to hypothetically need to complete your project. Okay. All right. This is an addition to the actual capstone to try to pull in some real world feel to it. All right. Remember, I gave you a hypothetical budget of $2 million. All right. Not a lot, but I gave you that hypothetical budget of $2 million. All right. HR information. Remember, you don't put people names. The breakdown you need to have in HR information is the salary range of that particular skill set. Okay. And then you need to break it out again and assign within that salary range, assign how much you're actually going to pay the position. I'm going to say it again. You have to find the particular skill set, that particular position, and note the salary range, 10,000 to 20,000. Then out of that, you want to say you are going to pay this particular position 15,000. Okay. All right. Now, after that, probably below it or somewhere, wherever you want to put it, remember, you have to, hold on for a second, please. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Okay, so all right. So remember, hopefully you can hear me. Remember, all right. So remember, once you put the HR information, you have to put again the healthcare information. Okay. When you put the healthcare information, of course, you have to do research, okay, and see how much it will cost a single person, how much out of pocket it's going to cost that person. Or better yet, you find out what is the average cost for a single person for healthcare. If it costs 15,000, what is the percentage of that 15,000 your company is going to pay? Okay, so is the person going to pay 20% of the 15,000 and you pay the 80? All right, you need to specify that. Okay, and show and give a breakdown of, okay, this person is going to pay, you have the premium, they're going to pay 4,000 out of pocket, for the year, okay, before the rest of the money kicks in that we begin to pay. All right, so you need to actually break that up, all right, and show what you're paying and what the person is paying out of pocket. And I'm saying person, but you just use the word single and you give that breakdown. Also for the family, if it costs 20 to 25,000 for a family of two or three or four, whatever it is, then you have to say, okay, we're going to pay 70%, and the family paid 30%. Okay, you have to give those breakdowns, right? Do not put persons' names in there. Right? We're only dealing with positions, and we're only dealing with where it says single or family. All right. Now, that's your HR breakdown. All right. Um, After all of that, you then give your references. Okay. Where you're pulling your information from. Remember, when you give your references, because we're doing this in Google Docs now, we're doing this in Google Docs. We're doing this in Google Docs. You should be able to use MLA, and I'm just be flexible. Use MLA or APA style. I prefer MLA. It's a little cleaner because all I see is a number, and I can refer back, as opposed to APA where you have this big name of whoever you got it from. Okay, um, but I prefer MLA because you can footnote it, all right, and it's out of the space of the information that I'm looking for. Okay, all right, so um, that's tab A. Tab B. Tab B is going to be uh, your survey market information. Okay, your patent research summary or your patent search summary, your marketing plan, and that is going to be on tab B. All right. Remember, this is how your survey should look. Those are all the surveys that you sent out and you received information back on it. Okay. Uh, Again, I told you you can use this language to start off what you're trying to say in your project. Patents. Your patent search, you should at least have, we have 3 here, you should have at least 3. At least 3 patents. Remember that you're looking, when you look for your patents, let's say for instance, you have, Devon, you're doing a straw, okay? When you look for patents, you look for, okay, the straw itself, okay? And then you look up patents uh, that where materials were used to create that straw, right? Those are the type of things that you look up uh, when you go look for patents, okay? Um, those uh, websites are located in your My Project Lead the Way. And I'll make sure, and I should have had them on here, but I'll make sure I share them with you. But they are in your Project Lead the Way account. Okay, they should be under unit, I believe unit 2. All right, but I'll pull those out later on. All right. Now, after your patent research, we don't have it here. What is your marketing plan? How do you plan to introduce what you've created to the market? Okay, because you have a synopsis, you have the problem, you have that is going to address, you have the justification as to why you believe it's needed. Now, what is your plan to introduce it? What is your plan to show people, hey, that they do need this product? Okay, all right. Um, and that's it on this one. All right, that's tab 5. Notice one thing. I want you to notice one thing, and the rubric has changed just a little bit, but it is included in the rubric that you see here. Okay, so you have for tab A, you have tab B. To get a 5, and I'm gonna try to break this out and get this to you as soon as possible. In order to get a 5 for this, all right, notice what it says. All right, plausible prior attempts to solve the problem and or related problems is drawn from a wide array of clearly identified and consistently credible sources. All right, see that? So you need to show, and you can read on, you need to show some credible, concrete sources, not just throw something together. All right. Don't go out and find a source that was back in 1929 or 19, 30s or 50. Find some sources that are relevant or close to being relevant uh, to your project. Okay. All right. And this is key. It's clear, consistently clear, detailed, and supported by relevant data. All right. Consistently clear, detailed, and supported by um, current data. All right. So that's tab B. Tab B. Tab C. Notice tab C is the product concept. This is where you present, and this is ours over here when we did it. You present three, all three, all three. If you have four, that's fine, but all three of your prototypes. The prototypes need to be drawn to scale. You can't see, it's a little blurry here, but you can see how people they put measurements, they listed the type of materials that they're going to use in it. They really provided some detail. Yours need to have the same exact thing. Okay, all right. You present all three of your prototypes. Okay, the prototype, the sketches. Right now, after you do that, did I skip something here? I did. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm sorry. So we did the survey. Okay, market how you plan to market your product. I'm sorry. Tab C. Tab C. I skipped it there. Tab C is your solution matrix. Let me back up. Your solution matrix basically says this is the solution that I am going to go with. Actually, those tabs, the information needs to be, should have been flipped. But based on cost, based on reliability, based on lifespan, based on all those things, this is the solution that I'm going to go with. And notice the language. After reviewing several patents related to the portable drainage system, which we did, we examined various design specifications such as cost, ease of use, weight, so on and so forth. Okay. We took that language, we put it in categories. All right. And when we looked up the price of these based on these websites, the cost, the ease of use, the material for this, pig absorbent, we looked up the cost of it, the ease of use, so on and so forth. We found that to be more in line with our project of what we were trying to accomplish. Okay, so this had the highest number, and I believe we went with received the observer man received the highest score, right? Which is this. This had the highest number, so we ended up using that one. Okay. All right. So in this particular the solution matrix, what you're doing is you're looking at the if it's such a word, constructability. I'm making up words. All right. Or of your project. Okay. The cost, the ease of use, the things that you're looking to see based on the materials that I'm using, would this or will this be user friendly to those within the context of the of market of community or market that I'm trying to enter. Okay. All right. Again, you can use this language here for your project. Remember to cite your sources of the different websites you go to, and remember to put down the solution, the product number, if they have a product number, name of the product, so on and so forth. If it has a size, make sure you put the size and things of that nature. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to. Let me back up before we move forward. We did not know we did use some form of PVC piping. Okay, but it wasn't flexible. I just saw that. All right. All right. So D. We already talked about D. I already told you the first part of D. All right. Here we go. The second matrix is your decision matrix. So based off the previous matrix we just talked about, all right, the solution matrix, and looking at your drawings, okay. Now you want to looking at your drawings. Now you want to say here for your decision matrix, you want to look at your first prototype, your second prototype, and your third prototype. Okay, all your sketches, not your prototypes, but your sketches. Okay, you want to look at your build complexity, the cost, will it work, functionality, durability, so on and so forth. Okay, you can use these in this language in yours. All right. Again, it all pans out to who has the highest number. Let me be clear. In the previous matrix and in this one, a 1 does not always mean good. A 1 means worse. Okay. The 9 means the best. That's in the previous matrix, right? Here we had 1 means worse. Okay. 5 means best. All right. So make sure you make a ledger identifying that. Okay. Make sure you make a ledger identifying that. All right. And again, the number represents either represents the pro and con. Is it easy to use? Is it not easy to use? Is it in between? So on and so forth. Okay. The number determines its, and I use the sample, its usability, its cost, its accessibility. Okay. All right. Again, the rubric. I'm going to make sure I try to pull this rubric, and actually the rubric, I believe, is already in my project Lead the Way. But again, I'm going to pull this rubric out, and I will present that, give that to you here in the next day or so. All right. So again, read the rubric, and it gives you an idea of what I'm looking for. This is what you do to get a 5. This is what you do to get a 4. Okay. 3, 2, and again, you can log into your innovation portal because it's right there in your innovation portal. All right. I think I can download that. All right. Okay. So moving on. Once you have your decision done, then you refine the design. You may take a design and merge it with another one, or you might eliminate the other 2 and just have just one. Okay, or you might take 1 or 2 pieces from the other design and take 2 or 3 pieces from the other design and put them together and make one. All right. Either way, you're refining the design. Okay. All right, and as you can see, we ended up refining our design and making a final prototype sketch. All right. Okay. So, all right, and I think that's it on that one. E. E, you're making a STEM connection. What is the connection? What is the connection between the science, technology, engineering, and math? What are your connections? Again, you have this in the innovation portal. You can see where we made our connection. All right, and you're just writing a short paragraph, not one line, not two lines, a paragraph. Okay, all right. As you can see, it right here. Okay, you're writing a paragraph. All right, of STEM connections. Tab F, safety discussion. All right, there will need to be many know-how to clinics to demonstrate the safety. So basically, there's some safety precautions that need to be considered when you using your product. Again, I go back to using the straw. Of course, we will initially say, nah, there's no safety concerns, but there is a safety concern. Hey, don't use a straw to dig in your ear or close to your eye, okay? Something to that effect. There's always a safety concern when creating a product for uh, for the better good of humanity. All right, there's always a safety concern. Okay, all right. Tab G. Tab G. Tab G is a must-have, but then again, let me back up. Uh, it is a must-have because I'm going to talk about the prototypes here in a second. It's a must-have if you have a prototype. If you do not have a prototype, a physical, tangible prototype, then just give me the sketches drawn to scale. You see, all of us took IED, all right, Introduction to Engineering Design. Every last one of us took it, all right. And when we talked about dimensioning, what are your dimensions? Okay, you have to provide dimensions, provide your depth, provide your width, your angles. All that stuff needs to be annotated in your redesign and in your initial sketches. All right, and you can see here, that's what we have here. Okay, now if you do create, you do have some tools around the house or some things around the house. If your parents allow you to break and tear up something to create your prototype, please take pictures of the materials that you're going to use before you put them together, and provide an in-depth description. If it's plastic, how long is the plastic? How thick is the plastic? Okay. If it's a PVC pipe, how long is the pipe? How thick is it? All right. How many? You can see here. We told you how many flat head bolts we use and everything else. So you're providing information on the things that you're using to create your prototype. Okay. Even if you go buy a Tonka truck and you say, hey, this is one Tonka truck. The truck is so many feet long, so many feet long, so many feet high. The dumping compartment is X amount of inches deep. All right, you have to give those schematics. The wheels are so much height or wide or whatever. You have to give that detail. Okay. All right. Once you provide that detail, then you can take some pictures. Have somebody take some pictures of you putting stuff together. All right. Of course, if you do this, I'm just going to put it out there now. If you become very creative while you're at home and you're doing this and you present your project in this manner, um, I can guarantee you that is going to be a breadwinner, because what you're showing is what you've learned throughout the school year is how to solve problems. Yes, right now we're in a situation where it's hard to do certain things, but you're going to meet the criteria of this this particular tab, even though you face some obstacles. Understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. All right. So you definitely get some good kudo points on this tab if you present more than just your final your final sketch. Okay. All right. We're almost finished. Tab H. Tab H. All right. Your tab H is basically, what is it? That is prototype testing, data collection, and so on and so forth. So, um, so when you do your prototype testing and data collection plan, all right, here we have list of tests, retention of water, all right. So technically, we really couldn't do all of that. We did some of it. We didn't have an opportunity to do a lot of it, but the little bit we did do, um, the leg support we did do, whatever, it did work a little bit. Um, but again, our time was short, so we could only do one test. But if you do a prototype um, and can run it through some type of test, that would be good. If you can't, that's fine. You can't do it. I understand. All right. However, if you were to test it, if you were to test it, and this part you have to put in. Okay. If you were to test it, what was your purpose for testing it? What was your purpose for testing it? Okay. All right. And here you have purpose for testing it. All right. Now, uh, for materials and functioning, if you were not able to test it, then uh, you can give a theory on, based on the materials, uh, or here it says constructing the wash station portable drain system will require the use of PVC piping. So constructing whatever it is that you're building will require uh, this particular part, okay? And as you can see here, you will actually break down the functionality of your prototype and the materials that you used. Um, Actually, I could have kept reading that because it basically um, explains what I'm trying to convey to you. All right, the hard plastic container will serve as the water basin. The springs will allow the legs to be spring loaded for easy use. So you kind of give a description of the functionality of each component of your prototype. Okay. Sorry, my allergies are kicking in my eyes. Okay, sorry. Now, safety. Safety, that's self-explanatory. All students and staff will be briefed on. So you just say that there is some safety uh, class or safety, some reading you need to do to make sure that it's safe. All right. Uh, this is the initial conditions. Again, if you're not testing, this will apply. If you do test, this does apply. And then procedure, this is due to limit safety. Shower access, simulating the water flow rate from the safety shower head was replaced with a bucket of water, okay? Because we couldn't go in somebody's room and pull down the shower thing. will flood the whole room. So we had to improvise. And because we have what's going on now, you can improvise and use somewhat of a statement like this. Or if you do test, you just simply put what you use to improvise for the testing. Okay, that's all you're doing here. All right. But again, everything on this page, which is tab H, except for that's if you don't test. If you don't test, uh, except for a list of tests, everything else on this page should be included in your project. If you do test, then you list the type of test that you did, okay? And then everything else, that's on H. Yeah, this was an extension from H. Sorry, yeah, that's an extension from H. Okay, I is nothing more than an extension from H. J. J, yeah, that's when we did our presentation, and we did customer feedback. So make sure once you get it all together, you can once you get it all together, you can go ahead. We won't be able to have this type of board, but if you do come up with a board like that at home, that's fine. Just make sure you're able to present your prototype and develop some type of customer feedback survey. Okay, and that's for J. And then K is lessons learned, challenges, good and bad. Okay, lessons learned, challenges, good and bad. All right. Okay, so I know you have a couple of questions. I'm always available. Just hit me on Remind. Something else. Let's see. Again, if you're not able to create a prototype, you have to make sure that if you're not able to create a prototype, you have to make sure your drawings are to scale and that they are readable, all right? That they are clear and concise in terms of measurements, okay? Again, you will present this via either Teams or I'll send out Zoom information because if I bring in anybody from the outside, we will probably have to have Zoom because I'll have to send out the link to them. You need to be prepared to go on May the 22nd, which is 3 weeks from now. Also, again, your decision matrix and your and the other matrix, the two matrix we talked about, they need to be completed. They should have been completed already, but they need to be completed and turned in tomorrow, which is Thursday. They need to be in your portfolio on Thursday. For those of you who have not turned in one, please turn it in. Please share it again at Phelps Senior 2020 at gmail.com. Okay. Check your verbiage, check your language, your grammar. You can use Grammarly for free. It's called Grammarly.com. Many of you going to college, you might want to go ahead and pay for it for a whole year. It'll help you in that area, even though you still have to read it to make sure it flows, all right? what else? I'm trying to think of something else that I did not write down that I need to go over. I believe that's it. Those of you who are doing this individually, who um, please make sure you kind of pace yourself and get this done. Those of you who partner with someone to get through it, make sure you are communicating with your teammate um, to complete the project. The due date, that's what I'm missing. The due date to have everything done, everything. You will probably still be working on your prototype, which I understand. But the due date to get everything done will be May the, I'm going to say May the 12th. May the 12th. Let me put that down. May the 12th to get everything done. That gives you the rest of this week. That gives you all of next week. That gives you basically, the rest of this week, all of next week, all of the week after that. May the 12th, you should have everything done, and it should be in my inbox. Share with me. May the 12th. May the 12th. Okay. We're going into fourth period now. Fourth quarter now. All right. So things are going to be slightly different. May the 12th, everything should be completed. Right. That gives me time to go through it, give you some feedback, so that on May the 22nd, and I will give you a time, May the 22nd, we'll be able to go live, which I'll probably most likely start about 1 o'clock, actually presenting, okay? And I will give you the presentation information later this week or first thing next week, because I'm gonna have a couple of you all presenting, and we only have a certain amount of time. Okay. All right. So I will be in touch. You can be in touch with me if you have any questions. But that's it. Parents, please, please, please support your senior so that they can complete this final project for the class and go ahead and enter into this thing called life fully, so to speak. All right. Okay, that's all I have. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And I owe you, let's see if I can download this rubric and get it to you so you'll know how to guide and pace yourself in terms of getting the best grade possible. All right.